Hey, second graders, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Wednesday, either Wednesday morning, afternoon, evening. You might even be doing this on Thursday, and that's totally fine. But I just, wherever you are, whatever time of day it is, I hope you guys are doing well. I miss you guys. But I wanted to get on and let you know what's in store for today. So for today, we do have reading, we have science, we have math, and a friendly reminder to do a little bit of writing in there as well. I would encourage you, if you haven't yet, to go ahead and start a journal where you write down how you're feeling each day and maybe things you're hearing in the news, just kind of anything you want to help you remember this time, because this is a very historical time, you guys. This is the first time anything like this has happened in my life, probably your parents' life, and obviously yours too. So it'll be really neat to go back, when you're my age or just when you're older and see what you thought of it. I got to do that with a few things that happened when I was younger, and it's really neat to go back and reread. So I would encourage you to do a little journaling today if you have some time. Or if you don't want to do that, you can do a different type of writing. But for reading today, you have two real options. It says you can do ABC Mouse or Adventure Academy, but I would say please don't, just because it's not going to help you get ready for science. If you finish these and want to finish by doing ABC Mouse or Adventure Academy, that's fine. Just don't have that be the only thing you do today. So you have two real options for reading today. The first one is to choose one of these articles to read. This one's a little more challenging. This one's a little easier. So if you open up choice 1 and it's too hard, go ahead and open up choice 2 instead. Read one of those and then listen to Who Sank the Boat read aloud. And what you're going to do is from whichever article you read, you're going to jot down 2 things you learned, 2 facts, and then you're going to tell someone why you think the boat sank in the read aloud story. So jot down 2 facts from your reading and go and explain why the boat sank or why you think it sank from the read aloud story to a mom, dad, brother, sister, whatever works for you. If you would rather, though, you could read about floating and sinking on Pebble Go. Here's the username and password if you need it. The username is PHSD. The password is just Park Hill, no spaces, no capital letters. And as you're listening or reading the text, go ahead and jot down 2 to 3 facts you learned. So you don't have to do all of that. Pick one or the other. And then for science today, you are going to be thinking about why some items sink and some items float. And it does depend on the item's properties. So what you are going to do is watch this video from BrainPop. It will have you log in if you haven't saved it. The username is ParkHill2020. It's all lowercase and then 2020. And the password is the same. And in this video, I'm just going to give you a little sneak peek. It does kind of tell you that the reason objects sink or they float is usually based on their weight, how heavy they are compared to the water, and its shape. So really be looking for those 2 main things as you're listening, and then complete the sink or float activity. So for the sink or float activity, you are going to need a container with water. Don't fill it all the way, maybe like halfway or 3/4 of the way. And you are going to pick 7 objects to see if they will sink or float. Please don't pick anything that would get totally ruined if you put it in the water. Ask mom or dad before you use anything. Jot down all the objects in this column. And then you're going to make a prediction. Do you think it will sink or float? If you think it will sink, write sink. If you think it will float, write float. You can make all your predictions first and then test and write down what actually happened, or you can do one object at a time. So let's say I have a piece of paper, like a little ripped corner off of my notebook paper. So I could put a piece of paper. My prediction would be that it would float, and then I would put it in the water and see what would happen, and I haven't done this yet. But I'm actually kind of wondering now if it might sink once it absorbs the water because that makes it heavy. I don't know. We'll have to see. But that's what you're doing for science today. And then for math, you are kind of continuing what we did yesterday. We have 2 options for the main activity. The first is you can use a piece of string or paper, rulers, and scissors, and you're going to act out the scenarios. If you can't act them out, just do the math, but I would encourage you to do a little hands-on activity. So number 1, cut a 12-inch long piece of string. So you would measure out the string and cut it. And then you will cut off 4 inches. So counting back 4 inches along that ruler and cut there and see how many inches are left. You're going to do that for each of those problems. And then you can also do the math work mat here. Again, there are measurements, of course, but I'm mostly looking at your math skills. Do you know if you need to add? Do you need to subtract? What kind of math are you needing to do is what I'm wanting you to focus on today. And then, of course, some fluency practice and Greg Tang. So that's it for today. Don't forget to do a little bit of writing, maybe start that journal. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. I'll talk to you tomorrow.